You're tuned in to Shea Butter Me Radio, where we keep it all natural. You're tuned in to Shea Butter Me Radio. We have one more introduction song, and I will be ready to get started. Tonight's topic is the sacred Hag Stone. If you look on our Facebook page, Crystal Gem Store and More, you can get a visual of what the stone looks like. It is absolutely breathtaking. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have?
Yes. Shea Butter Me Radio. We are here. I don't know about you, but I have to have a few introduction songs before we get started just to set the pace. And I also have to hit my singing bowl. Take a sip of my moon water I charged last night. Yes, I try to never miss an opportunity to get my full moon charged water. It works very well with my system and my universe because we are all our own universe individually, and collectively we are one. And so that's a good way of thinking about it. So as I'm talking to you, there's an image on our Facebook page of the Hag Stone, and it is spelled H-A-G, and its native zodiac would be Scorpio, and that's actually how I ran into it. Its elemental equivalent would be water. So all of our stones and gemstones in the earth have an elemental connection in their creation. Some stones are created by water, fire. You have wind-beaten stones, and those are very interesting. The water and the wind-beaten stones are very interesting because they come out very smooth, and it's just amazing. But yes, we're talking about the Hag Stone. But before we get into our information, because I'm going to run through this, and I kind of want to stop and do some explanation in between. So what I'm going to do is give ashes to the ancestors, because I truly am being guided, and I have just learned so much, and I'm looking forward to learning so much more and sharing with you all. And if you guys have any crystal gem stories, information, feel free to share. My email address is royalqueenswellnesscenter@gmail.com or shaybutterme1116@gmail.com. You can also reach me there. Okay. So to all the ancestors, when we give our ashes, we either pour water into a plant, or we either, pour water out. If you're outside, you would pour it into something. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drink my ashes, okay? Because our ancestors, they exist in our bloodline. So I like to go internally when I do my ashes. So ashe to all my previous ancestors. I'm talking about ancient ancestors. And I want to say ashe to my present ancestors, which would be my grandparents, and all of my friends, like family, that have crossed over and are now our ancestors. So we say ashe. Okay. So, Hag Stone. Hag stones are also called fairy stones, holy stones, eye stones, and another name they are called is witch stones. This structure is created in water, and because of the way the waters rush through, it makes a hole completely through the stone. Some stones have one, some stones have two, so you get to play around with the structures of the stones, and when you go to pick them out, how they are created is amazing. So if you get one that looks like a face, like I did, that's this, to me, my stone. It just stood out to me as a being, a good being, a protective being. Before I knew anything about the stone, I actually picked it out and didn't even know the name. I didn't take a picture of the caption that talked about it until almost a month later. And so when I went back to get the information, it was what I already discovered and what I felt about the stone. And it is just a stone, but it is a mystical, mysterious, magical stone. You just feel like, out of all my crystals, I had started to just pick this one up more and spend more time with it. And I don't regret one moment. Hag stones can be put in cars, homes, offices, anywhere, worn on necklaces. I actually picked out a second one when I went, and it's a necklace. It has a hole through it, in which I will have these available on our website. And yes, they are worn for protection, kept in homes. So we're going to talk about the structure of the holes. The holes in the Hag stones usually are formed by centuries of wave action, centuries of river or ocean waves beating up against the stones, and also dripping water. You have some caves and some remote places where you have the ice that's coming down, but it actually is dripping. And so in a prolonged time, most of the time, those drips are hitting the same area in the stones. So they're very, very significant elements, is what I will call them. It is this association, it has this association with running water, which itself is said to negate the effect of evil, running water. That is believed by many people to be the source of the Hag Stone's reputation for guarding their owner against ill fortune and the evil eye. Now, I don't know about you. I'm not leaning towards any particular belief, but I do believe in the elements because they are tangible. And we know that they are created by Earth's forces. So I tend to, that this is pretty much folklore. But as I said, my experience with the stone and my bonding with the stone, I felt all of this before I even got this information. And so I said, I have got to share this with my crystal and gemstone lovers out there. And even people that aren't, like, I encourage you totally to start to read, pick up your first crystal, get your first crystal, and get started. And there's no greater place to purchase your first crystal or your enhance your collection than with Royal Queens Crystals and Gemstones. We work with raw crystals. Very seldom do we have polished. I just feel like there's more raw power in the crystal, raw, right from the earth, not tumbled in, messed with by mankind. I just feel like the when you go to charge them, their energies, they connect back with the earthly elements quickly. And so you can get great charges out of any crystal. Any natural crystal can be charged, and there's many different ways. So back to our Hag Stone. It is said to negate the effect of evil. and it is believed it has had this is a centuries old stories about the Hag Stone's reputation for guarding their owner against ill fortune and evil eye. It was once a common practice for people to hang these stones above the front door to their homes to keep misfortune and troublesome spirits from interfering with its inhabitants. Farmers used to nail them to stable doors to safeguard their horses and animals against being run into the ground and attacked by other animals. Fishermen, too, also used hagstones as talismans to protect their boats from storms and as charms to help secure large catches of fish. Smaller hagstones have also been carried on key rings or worn around the neck in the belief that their wearers would secure a little luck associated with them. They would also be hung on bedposts at night to ward off nightmares. These stones also have been associated with fairies, where they have been regarded as keys into the fairy realm. There's some of us that astral travel and visit different realms, and so the fairy realm is a popular one. And so these stones have been regarded as keys to going into those realms. And if you were religious or a religious spiritualist, I would say that you would have to try the spirit of the stone before you can judge it, because it definitely has a protective power. This I knew from just spending time with the stone, as I said before. So, and yes, you can be a stone and gemstone collector. There is no limitations to what we can do. We talked about the smaller hagstones, that they were worn around the neck in belief that their wearers would secure luck associated with them, and they ward off nightmares. These stones have also been associated, like we said, with the fairy realm. These stones have also been used as folk remedies for treatment of rheumatism, cramps, and various stomach complaints. Rheumatism is a form of arthritis. So we have our medicinal uses for these stones. Now, I'll tell you, I had an achy muscle day. And like I said, this is before I even researched into the stone. I just had a feeling of like, take the stone and rub it across my body. And I did. And I guarantee you, I felt the energy. And for at least a few hours, I was pain-free. Now, some may say that your psychological mind, coupled with belief, can manifest actually what you're looking for. So I'll leave that out there. And like I said, you would have to try for yourself. I've had wonderful luck with this stone. They would also, let me see, talking about various stomach complaints. So if you had the stone, you're carrying it with you, and you say, you're in a situation or you needed to tap into positiveness and good luck, you could hold the stone in your left hand, and with your thumb, rub across the stone clockwise in a clockwise direction. While this action is performed, you would concentrate on whatever it is that you desire. And this can be repeated regularly until the purpose manifests in its reality. This is, as you can tell from the information that I'm giving, this is more of a metaphysical stone. but it does help with physical ailments as well. So when you have real elemental objects that you're working with, once you research and find out what they are, then you can make all the other connections about how to use them. Any stones that are purchased from us, we give our buyer full information with your order on your particular stone, how to use it, how to charge it, how to clear it, what it's used for, the benefits, what not to do, etc. Yes. And so, they are good to give as gifts of luck to your loved ones, or as a kind gesture that has also been highly regarded for centuries. Another name for the stone is called an adder stone. And that is another name for the Hag Stone. Some of these stones have been discovered by archaeologists in both Britain and Egypt. And it was just so weird, like, as I'm explaining my adventure so far with this stone. So most of you know that I'm called what you call a Chemite. I study ancient Kemetic science and spiritual systems. And so I have a lot of objects from Egypt. And it was just weird that, like I said, it was drawn to me. I mean, I was drawn to it, rather. And so it was just so amazing to know that that's where these stones come from. They also can be found in Germany and the North Baltic Sea. So these are rare, and a lot of places that used to offer this stone when I was in my research, they were all out. And I have a plethora of stones. I mean, I have a lot of them available. So I would encourage you to take advantage of that. I do not charge by the sizes of the stone because they vary too much. You can get any Hag Stone from me for $7. $7. And that is an awesome price. And if it has to be shipped, it would be plus shipping. But yes, so it was a blessing for me to stumble upon a large amount of these Hag Stones. Let me see. I already talked about them being associated as a fairy stone. In Egypt, they were known for ancient protection, protection against other forms of magic. Okay? So, powerful stone. Hex free and all of that stuff when you own a Hag Stone. Okay? This is for centuries and centuries of time. So, I feel like mankind is starting to revert so much back into the natural elements rather than, the average gemstones that you see that are costing thousands of dollars. I mean, totally ridiculous. To me, a raw ruby is just as great as a shiny red ruby. It is right up out of the ground, and that particular raw stone, any of these raw stones can be tumbled, so you could get that process done to any of your stones because they have to be authentic, and that's all we work with. There's a statement in the research that states no matter which name you call the stone, it's also been known as the Holy Stone, the Odin Stone. They are rare and hard to find. They are just simply beautiful. These stones are, like I said, steeped in ancient lore, created by the forces of nature over long periods of time in flowing bodies of water. I don't know if you understand how important that is. Water, current, abundant, attraction. So, this is also an attraction stone. And it is great that it is created in bodies of water. So it stands in as the water element. Connected to the power and life-giving force of water, it is no wonder that these beautiful stones possess magical forces to protect and offer a glimpse into worlds between worlds. So, a lot of people know that I actually do visit other places in my dreams. And so, since I've had this stone, I've had some amazing dream experience that I have recorded over the past week or so. I try to write every day my experience, and I try to, give each stone its chance to shine, by itself. And so then I record my experiences so that I can share with the family. We talked about how ancient lore tells us that the Hag Stones possess the power to protect homes, boats, people, and pets. Yes, and pets. Another thing about crystals and gemstones is that so many of them are pet friendly. And so we're going to have some information on that also. We're going to share. Hold on one sec. I need some water. Yes, we're definitely going to have a lot more information coming through. You can hang your Hag Stone above the main entryway of your home to absorb any negativity that might pass through your threshold. Very beautiful. That is where my largest Hag Stone is going to be. I just love the notion of it. It's totally positive. I do not need any negativity in my home, so I'm going to get that. Like I said, also for people that have bad nightmares, put your Hag Stone under your pillow. Okay? It is what it is. If you put it under your pillow and you don't have nightmares, thank the Hag Stone. I mean, these are our friends, our elements that we can use as mankind to help us not to suffer so much with certain things. I mean, absolutely. I'm not into suffering, so I'm into using natural elements, holistic healing. Absolutely. You could use your stone when you want to have it in place of an element. If for whatever you're doing requires that you have the element of water, you can use this stone. Wearing the stone on a necklace in the shower, awesome. Because the stone is, again, being connected to running water. So that's also a benefit. You can shower with your stone. You don't have to worry about just dry it off. You don't have to worry about shampoos and all that other stuff. What you do to charge this stone is you put it in salt water. And you let it set out at night, preferably under the moonlight. Okay. Yes. There is other folklore that goes with this stone in connection with the moon. We talked about this before. Your Hag Stone can be used when you are meditating, in deep meditation. Shamans use this stone. Yoga persons use this stone. It just helps to get you to that peaceful place. You know, the power of protection. When you're protected, when you feel protected, you're at peace. And so, literally, after 5 minutes of holding the stone, I knew it was a protective tool. Folklore has said if you look through the hole of the stone at the moon, then you can say your desire, what you would like, your hopes, your dreams, your goals. That has been done for centuries. It is called gazing. It has been done by almost every culture out there. Yeah. And so I had to share that. I'm sharing total information. And like I said, this stone has physical properties, but it is more so metaphysical. And I had to share it because it is literally a stone, like a rock. But it is not like none other. The smoothness of it, just the, wow, it really is awesome. And amazing where the holes happen to end up. So that is a really fun part of picking out the stones, because you kind of let your imagination lead you to which one you're going to choose. So you could be able to gaze with your stone, meditate with your stone, lay your stone on parts of your body, your lower back, knees, any joints is good, especially after you've cleared it and done your salt soaking. Right after that is where I would use it for the physical ailments. It is said that soaking them in salt water should be done on a full moon, and it literally makes your stone happy. It is happy when it is cleared and charged. And so that is our information for the Hag Stone. I would like to know if there are any questions in the chat. Let me look. Here we go. I have my dear cousin, Ja East. He's on with us. Thank you for coming in. Are there any questions? Were you able to hear all the information? Any questions about this magnificent stone? While we see if we have any questions, we're just going to take a small break. I have some even more information yet to share with you. have some more information. About our lovely Hag Stone. So, some people, I'm actually looking at a news feed of people discussing their experiences with the Hag Stone. And actually, they are talking about fertility, that it has been used for females with fertility. And so I guess it helps in that way. Lots of different people talking about that. They asked, they wanted to find their one true love. We have some testimonies of people falling in love with the stone or finding their soulmate when carrying the stone. And of course, this happens over time. They were used as pledge stones. So the Hag Stone was your first lie detector. It says the meaning of the pledge stone is that they gave the person who has acquired them the ability to know if someone is speaking the truth or not. So they were used as to see if people were telling the truth or not. It is related to the feminine energy, relates to the planetary body is the moon. And most people really, really use this as a protective stone. No matter what research I find, that is the main thing. And the person stays protected for a lifetime. It's just not, something that is temporary, because you have it in your house, it's with you, or you take it out. And it's also, for centuries, has been said that no one can wish you any negative harm or whatever when the Hag Stone is present. And so I'm not sure if people are aware, but there are a lot of practitioners out there. And so you just never know. I'd rather be protected. So I love my Hag Stone, among others. But this has been the second level protective stone. The very first one is shungite. It's pretty much the master protector stone. And in my experience, after that, literally comes this Hag Stone. Before I got the stone, I probably wouldn't have made that choice, but since I've had it, hands down, it's right up there with shungite, and it's not even a crystalline, it's a stone. So this is just amazing, because I've yet to, I know that crystals and stuff like that hold their energies, but the stone is really dope. It really is. Yes, we talked about fertility. And so, yes, that's pretty much the gist of the information. But I just want to let everyone know that I have them available, and they can contact me. Let's just talk about some stones that can go with Hag Stones. Because there are other stones, when you combine them, it just amplifies it. So blue kyanite is a stone that works well with the Hag Stone. It vibrates at a high frequency, so it amplifies energy. And so to amplify protective energy from the Hag with a blue kyanite, wow, I tell you, that's some powerful stuff there. So those two together, they have a strong vibration, and it actually creates a protective shield around anyone who has it. And when I say a protective shield, I mean a metaphysical protective shield, which, can work with physical situations. Definitely look into that. I mean, I knew if you're new as far as crystal and gemstones and their properties and what they offer us, I'm pretty sure this sounds a bit, magical to you, and it is supposed to. This information, when you're not familiar with it, is totally mind-blowing, but I kid you not, any stone that you would research, any authentic stone, you will find some type of metaphysical property that it has. A lot of them are physical, and they're used to align chakras and balance our energy centers, but they also have metaphysical properties. I mean, a lot of times when you're going to Reiki sessions and different energy healing sessions, and you have crystals being used, they are the ones doing the healing. 95% of it is the gemstone crystal, and the rest is the person you're working with knowing how to utilize those crystals. Didn't want to crush anyone out there, but that is true. So you have your kyanite that aligns with it. I'm seeing bloodstone aligns with it in the physical healing process. They also are, as combined with the bloodstone, can recalibrate your chakras, your sacral and root chakras. And also, because the bloodstone works with the heart, so it can be used there also to help with nervousness, overcome distress and anxiety. It helps to realign your energies. So if you had these two stones and you found a nice grassy place where you could be barefooted and, just go out and be barefooted on the grass, under the earth, and you can obtain balance quickly that way. Even without stones, it might take a little longer. But like I said, the stones amplify your experience. Let's double check the chat, see if there's any questions. It's kind of like why I like to keep the music playing in the background, because when I'm not talking, there's no noise. And I don't want my listeners to think I am not paying attention. I'm actually running two consoles here at the same time. And so, yes. And so what we are moving forward to do is I'm going to feature any particular stone and talk about it, its uses and my experience with it and how it's reacted with me. So I encourage you all to get your Hag Stones and then come back and talk to us and tell us your experiences. You are sure to have something to talk about. And so, yeah, I'm going to not announce it. You'll never know which stone I'm going to talk about. So you have to stay tuned in order to get everything together and see what we're talking about. Because I am such a busy person. And so I have to do things unplanned sometimes, but they got to be done. So, yes. We will be back tomorrow with a new stone. I would like to get on here every day, but I know that is not realistic. So I want to say at least once a week we will be coming on and doing the show on the crystal of the week. Let's call it that, the crystal of the week. I will come on and do a show, and I'm only going to talk about crystals that I have available for you all. To me, that makes sense. And thank you for tuning in. We're going to go back to a little more music, and you all have a wonderful night. We'll be wrapping up after a few closing songs. tuning in to Shea Butter Me Radio, where we keep it all natural. Have a wonderful evening. See you on Sunday.